69, that sounds like a good audio level. Chat, here we go. Chronic versus Rapid, level 3 of the gauntlet. If you happen to tune in to today before any of the other games, or maybe this is the first video you've watched on YouTube, right now Rapid is on his way to the Feer 5 gauntlet, trying to get through the 5 most winning players, the players with the 5 most, or the most wins. I don't know, I'll figure it out. The point is, he's going up against the best that the Feer stream has to offer, and he's made it through Gino and Sharp, and now he is up against Chronic. Rapid, of course, from the Kansas City Pioneers, mostly a 3v3 player for RLCS, but he used to be a ones player back when he was, you know, becoming a big name, and he is venturing back into it now for his opportunity to play in the Feer 5 gauntlet. Chronic, you guys should know well, Chronic is a big 1v1 player, not just on our stream, but on Johnny's stream as well. He was probably originally, you know, his best finish in a tournament might be second, which is kind of weird to say, but second in the Salt Mine Season 1. Oh my goodness, what a boomer from Chronic. Wow. What a clear from all the way on his back wall. My goodness. Anyways, as I was saying, Chronic finishing second in the Salt Mine Season 1 to First Killer. Basically, that's as good as you can do. First Killer has shown that second is all anyone in North America can really hope for. So, about as high as a possible finish as he could have had in that Salt Mine. He's also a next-gen Season 1 winner, taking down the likes of Daniel, Dreaz, Night Owl, and Astro on our stream. And he's played in every Feer 500. So, he's been around for a while. He has one of the best win ratios, winning percentage is what I mean to say, on the stream, other than Kinsey, of course. Nice air dribble bump from Rapid. Kinsey is basically our Wilt Chamberlain of the stream. When we're talking about records, we're talking about records that people have directly under Kinsey. And Chronic has a very impressive one. For how many games he's played, his win percentage is really, really good. Rapid shot. Ooh, just barely saved by Chronic. We're going to see how these guys go. We see Chronic today in the Octane. We've seen Chronic play both Dominus and Octane back and forth. I want to say he's had more success on our stream with the Dominus, but he just came off RLCS. Maybe he plays Octane in the threes more exclusively and just wants to stick with it. Who knows? Maybe we'll see some more Dominus Chronic later in the series. But air dribbles is exactly what Chronic loves to do. It is his bread and butter, whether they're ground to air or wall to air. He loves to main this as his attack. He knows how to mix it up. He's a top player through and through, but he wants to immediately get defenders guessing, get them panicking every time he comes up in the air, and then work his game from that. So if it starts off poor, he could be in trouble, but right now it seems okay. Just a little bit of mistakes, letting Rapid take some easy opportunities. I mean, that's just a missed touch that Chronic gets more times than not. But I've actually been talking with Rapid in the Discord, our FeerRL Discord. We can link that. Somebody link that in the chat for people. But Rapid has been mentioning he's kind of prepping for Chronic. He actually worked on some kickoffs for with Wizz in chat because he was worried that if he was going to lose a series, he thought he would lose it mainly to kickoffs. His kickoff game not on point for a guy who hasn't been focusing on ones in recent enough memory. But also, he knows Chronic is that kind of aerial attack ones player, so specifically mentioning that he thinks he's found a good way to defend it. And we'll see how true that is today. Right now, Chronic has had no issues in the air. He's more just having trouble not slipping up around midfield. Chronic in the air once again. Flip reset. You know he's going to be going for it. This time, able to get the slight backflip, just pushing it above Rapid. Knew he wasn't going to be able to score with it, but needed to redirect it, and these long shots from Rapid are the difference right now in game number 1. Chronic has had some good shot attempts, but he hasn't been able to kill the ball long enough to give himself time to get back on defense, and that is the crucial part of an aerial attack type game. You need to be able to hedge your bets every time you go up in the air. So frequently it puts you out of position, so as long as you do a good job of making sure you can always recover, it's not an issue. But Chronic is going to prove a point here. He doesn't have to go in the air. He just likes to go in the air. And in a situation where it makes sense, he'll take a nice bounce dribble, put it behind Rapid, and Rapid will not stand a chance at saving that one. Chronic, another kickoff possession for him. Rapid been working on those air dribbles. He loves to set up kind of movement defense in that. Wow, what a shot from Chronic. That angle was absolutely filthy. Rapid able to save the first, but man, Chronic has to come far off this wall. What a shot. My goodness, the accuracy there. Those won't go down as clips. You know, people won't be sharing that shot on Twitter, but that is a absolute display of the kind of precision these guys have to get that much heat on it and that perfectly placed. Rapid running off the side wall. So we saw Rapid do this specifically against Gino a lot. He wanted to stay constantly moving on defense. I think he's trying to get defenders to like have to guess where he's gonna end up. If he's constantly moving, maybe they'll not take it as simply as they'd like. Maybe they'll double guess, or not double guess, but what am I trying to say? You know, just overthink the attack. And it worked on Gino. Gino definitely slowed down a lot. Nice fake from Rapid. And ended up resulting in Rapid stopping shots before they even came out. But Chronic has been unfazed. The aerial game has been working for him just fine. Fake kickoff. Chronic respecting the Rapid kickoff enough to not even go for it. Early pre-jump from Rapid, great adjustment. I'm not even sure Chronic really saw what Rapid was doing here. If you watch from Rapid's perspective, I think that just happened to be the angle that Chronic was going for. I don't think he actively tried to dodge Rapid, but he did do a good job of hooking the ball in the air, making sure it didn't take a straightforward trajectory to the net, which makes it much more readable and easy to save. So maybe intentionally giving it a nice hook on its way in and give himself a lead, one of the only leads he's had all game. I think Rapid so far has actually been leading for the majority of game number one, but that'll be a nice challenge. Rapid keeping the pressure on. He does not want to head back to play defense. A soft touch, and Chronic just trying to set up a play. Didn't realize how quickly Rapid would be back. Chronic losing this kickoff into his half, and Rapid trying to stay on top of it. Will he get punished here? It seems like he might, but no, not a strong enough shot from Chronic to get it past. But usually slight kickoffs, you know, in the direction of the other player aren't greeted as much as Rapid just did. This is a great 50. I mean, this is just a recognition of the way that Rapid is playing right now. Rapid is diving, diving, diving. So what does Chronic do? Takes a single jump, hovers behind the ball, a good few feet behind the ball, giving himself some space to squeeze it down when Rapid comes for the 50. And that is just the kind of smarts you expect from a ones veteran who knows how to switch up his game when he needs to. And he's got a lead right now with 5 seconds left, but this is a little bit of a whiff. He's gonna get demoed. Whenever you do that, you start rubbing yourself against the wall. Yeah, Rapid's gonna tie it up. Wow. All Chronic needed to do was land on this corner and he was gonna be fine. But whenever you miss your landing, it kind of freezes your car. It takes a really long time for your car to get back to moving at any speed, and what that means is you're very, very demoable. Rapid's gonna miss on the back wall. This shot high, Chronic, you can tell, checking for Rapid in his camera view. He's gonna go for the full field dribble. This is what Chronic does! Crossbar and out instead of crossbar and in. But the most important part of that air dribble is the fact that he did not lose possession, but Rapid will challenge up the sidewall. Chronic trying to make a possession play. Didn't think Rapid would come all the way in to make this play so dangerous. If Rapid doesn't get that touch, Chronic goes flying for an easy, easy goal on the other end. But Rapid is taking those risks and will bring it back in the last moments to win game number one. Game two, Rapid versus Chronic. Chronic took a little bit to get going, but eventually held the lead, and it almost all came down to a couple things, I'd say. One, the singular misplay in that corner that let himself get demoed, let Rapid tie up the game. But the bigger thing is at the start of that game number one, Chronic's style has always been the aerial play, and one of the keys to good aerial play, which Chronic does have, is the hedge. You know, the hedge on your bets. Every time you go for one of those aerial plays, you know that you're not going to let that opposition counterattack you. You'll get back in time. And that's just not what he was doing. He wasn't able to execute perfectly. Rapid was too quick. But this was a great play. A good job of undercutting Rapid to make sure he doesn't touch the ground and has to constantly be flipping with 0 boost to get back and make the save. Who is next in the gauntlet after Chronic? Dreaz is next after Chronic. If Rapid is able to make it past Chronic, he will be playing Dreaz. Chronic with lots and lots of space. Rapid has to go all the way back. Nice shot by Chronic, the musty. Rapid playing with so much pressure defense finally is going to give this mechanical mastermind some space, and he will rip a musty right into the top shelf for a 2-0 lead. Chronic direct kickoff goal. This is something Rapid has been trying to avoid. He was certainly worried that he would lose in the kickoff game. He didn't lose in the kickoff game of game number 1. He was fairly even, I would argue. So far, not as good of luck here. Nice shot. Wow. This just goes to show, as long as you place it strong enough and in the right spot, it doesn't have to be insanely fancy. Rapid just chipping it up to himself and just putting it directly above Chronic, so he has a hard time getting straight up in the air, and he will get his first. Chronic up the sidewall. Nice use of that first love. Oh my goodness, Chronic! No way! This is impossible. I don't get how these guys do this. That ball is not headed to the net. That had no business going in. Chronic, that first touch is all the way deep into the right corner of Rapid's half. It is not headed to the net, and somehow Chronic finds a way to get a flip reset and bring it back, and a kickoff to continue it. 5-1 in favor of Chronic, but my goodness. Chronic always putting on a show. He is known for being one of the most exciting players to watch, and that is continuing to hold true. Up 5-1. Rapid has yet to get anything going in this game number 2. Only a singular kickoff goal or a nice power shot set up off of a good kickoff. Chronic, nice read on that ball. That was really dangerous to stay close, and was banking on the fact that that ball was not going to be bouncing high and behind him. 6-1, Chronic undercutting Rapid. He is not letting Rapid dictate the pace this time around. Yeah, Chronic is ready to go. Chronic is coming off of an RLCS qualification, and I have a theory based on what I've watched. Nice delay. I mean, Chronic just knows what he's doing, man. If Rapid's going to stay glued to the ground, he will bring it down and make a play closer to the net. And a great placement behind Rapid. But anyways, as I was saying, I have a theory that we've had a lot of these players come off of playing in 3v3 games or RLCS tournaments, you know, before coming on stream. And if you manage to qualify, if you manage to win your 3v3 games, I think you just come in so hot. And even if Chronic had, you know, lost, had done basically just as well, but maybe lost in that final game, coming off a loss, it's just different. You know, I think you get in your head a little bit. You're thinking about maybe why you didn't win that 3v3 game, and you come out a different player. I would not want to have to play Chronic coming off of a RLCS qualification. Not the best of touches off the wall from Chronic, and wow. Rapid doing a perfect job of punishing. Chronic needed to intercept this play. Just landed awkwardly, faced the wrong way on the wall. And he did a good job to mostly recover, but Rapid just placed it too well. Another kickoff in favor of Chronic, though. Not only is he grabbing possession, but he's also finding a way to get boost. Great wheel first 50. This is a pure win at the kickoff. Normally you don't see kickoff wins go that way. Frequently, if somebody gains possession, the other player will have time to grab boost, and it's a rare thing when you can both gain possession and win the race to that sidewall boost. But let's see what Rapid did here. A little bit of a delay kickoff, maybe trying to read where Chronic went. It's obviously time for him to switch up whatever he's doing. Can't just run it back every single time. Chronic gonna clear this into the corner. If Rapid could see into the future, he probably could have sniped that out of the air, but of course, way too risky to do. Flip reset of Rapid's own. Falling into the net is not good. Chronic is such a fast aerial attacker. Rapid's got to try and do this with a little boost. Oh my goodness, the heat, but too high. Rapid playing a little bit quick. He had Chronic shadowing on defense and not really pressuring the ball. Normally you want to try and hold on to that ball as long as you can, bring the ball closer to the net and make plays near net. But sometimes you see when players are getting a little psyched out, they'll start flicking the ball early, and especially they'll flick it weak, like Rapid just did there to hand over possession. But he does eventually score. Chronic giving him a lot of space. We've got a lot of these last second save attempts that Chronic just barely pushes the ball away. Chronic air dribble 50. Rapid cannot stop him. He's too good. He's too good at mixing it up. And, you know, that's what makes a player like Chronic. We see a lot of players who can do the air dribble, flip reset, nasty shots like Chronic does. But that's not what makes you a top 1s player. What makes you a top 1s player is recognizing exactly what kind of aerial play will get you a goal. Chronic can tell when Rapid is not defending the right way, and he'll just drop it and take it under. And he'll only use his tricks when he knows they're going to work. He's not overextending and trying them to get a clip when it doesn't make sense. And that's why he's up 9-4 right now. A minute left to go. Rapid needing to slam in a goal just about every 10 seconds. Likely not going to happen. Chronic, once again over Rapid, continues to mix up the, sorry, couldn't think of the words, continues to mix up the attack. This time, just a quick touch above Rapid, meeting the high bounce. .34 seconds left to go, and this is clip time. Now is when you start to see Chronic maybe force the issue on a clip, like maybe go for a double flip reset, when otherwise he normally wouldn't. Oh, Rapid just let him take the air dribble from the corner, but Chronic doesn't want it. 14 seconds left to go. The clock will wind down. Chronic will tie up the series. A close game number 1, but Chronic found his groove here right away in game number 2. And he's going to finish at 10-4. This is all tied up. Headed to game number 3. Here we go. Rapid versus Chronic. The story of the series so far has been Rapid playing, or sorry, I should say, Rapid playing good defense, but Chronic not doing the best job. Oh, actually, you know what? I don't even need to say. This is the story of the series so far. Just watch this clip, and you'll get an idea of how the last 7 or 8 or so minutes of Rocket League have gone. Rapid was basically able to capitalize on the fact that Chronic wasn't doing a great job attacking at the start of this game, was leaving open opportunities for counterattacks. Rapid is fast and good at hitting the ball, so he was able to take a whole game win off that. But I mean, if Chronic doesn't give you the opportunities, then you're not going to stand a chance. And in that game, wait a second, close. In that game number 2, Chronic just gave Rapid absolutely nothing. What a bum. And a long shot. Chronic a second. Rapid admitted before the start of this series against Chronic, after he had already played Gino and Sharp, he said, Chronic, I think, is going to be the hardest for me. He says, if I get past Chronic, I'm not too worried about the rest. Now, we'll see if that ends up being true, but right now, Chronic does seem to be, you know, about as hard of an opponent as you can go up against. A good bounce dribble from Rapid for a second. He's tied right now. He's tied in the series and he's tied in this game, so a lot of credit to Rapid as well. Chronic holding on to every last burst of boost coming off that wall. Does not want to waste any, knowing that Rapid is trying to start a boost starvation attack right now. Chronic looking to steal the back corner. Great adjustment though, as soon as Rapid tried to force the issue, tried to punish him for a potential boost steal. Chronic immediately bailed off of it. Chronic in the air, I'd say it's impossible to shoot this, but anybody who's been watching this series realizes we can't say that anymore. Chronic this time, his bounce dribble not successful. I think he was trying to continue the high bounce, but accidentally caught it, dropped it low. Makes it nice and easy to challenge. Chronic is very, very patient on his back line. Can't see Rapid at all, but luckily Rapid moved out of the way. Not gonna matter, Rapid still gets the save. Booming long shot, Chronic with no boost is actually gonna have to watch it go in. Any amount of boost, and I think he saves it. But that was not the safest of attacks by Chronic. Taking the ball so high on the top of his car, all the way into Rapid's half, does threaten that challenge that really launches the ball. Whereas if you make sure to drop it down in front of your car as you get closer to the net, you can more secure, you know, a defense against the counterattack. Long dribble from Chronic is going to get saved away. Rapid changing up his defense, and it's not going to work. Earlier in this series, Rapid would have challenged here. He was rushing at every opportunity, and now he's trying to play a little bit slower because Chronic had started to punish him. But that's not going to work either, as he desperately searches for some way. And I tell you what, not a bad way to do it is to figure out the kickoffs. I'd say the series has now equalized here in kickoffs. Chronic definitely had game number 2. Game number 1 was fairly even, and Rapid, I think, has had a couple direct kickoff goals here now, though, in game number 3. Chronic, nice flick. Wow. So fast. Operating on very little boost, this is not an easy shot. Waiting until the dude, that's... Yeah, that should be a covered net. Rapid saves almost every shot that's taken. But Chronic just finding a way to get the perfect amount of heat on it using the tail end of his car. Look at this patience from Chronic once again. Just completely unfazed here in his half. He will wait until Rapid makes a mistake. He's not gonna freak out. He knows there's no shot opportunities. Rapid, nice flick. Chronic just trying to take it away. Rapid just gets a good read. Sees Chronic on the side wall, yeah, and Chronic basically had no choice where he was positioned as Rapid came down. Rapid knew he was gonna have to try and just beat him to the punch. Ooh, neither of these guys want to watch it. I'm trying to switch camera perspectives to see if it's online. But the reason why neither of them are watching it is because they both know it's in. Rapid, the kickoff's in his favor. At least 2 kickoff goals up on Chronic right now. With 1:48 left to go, as crazy as that Game 2 performance seemed, it's possible that Rapid goes up 2-1 in the series. Early flip from Chronic. Thought he was going to be able to get it out of Rapid's way. Rapid long shot, man. You have got to be able to punish Chronic when he makes a mistake like that. A great save on what was a good setup. And I really think Rapid missed an opportunity to extend the lead even longer. Chronic up high. Just going to start stealing boosts. Knows there's no way in the world that he's going to be able to score that with Rapid up in the air. Good patience from Rapid. Only way that's scored is if Rapid freaks out and lets Chronic tap it over him. A minute left to go. Chronic trying to dodge a Rapid demo that wasn't coming. Nice, dude, Chronic. Chronic knows exactly where to place all these balls. He does such a good job of reacting to where the defender is. This shot could have gone almost anywhere, but he realized the way Rapid was setting it up, saw that top left corner ready to be saved, and a nice chip shot makes it look like he could be going anywhere in net. Rapid can't react and then turns it into a nice musty to the top left corner. 38 seconds left to go. One goal that Chronic needs to make back. Is he going to try and air dribble this one all the way in? No way he's going to do it, but he's going to try and box out Rapid here on his journey to the boost. Rapid using up a lot of boost here just to tap this ball. Long shot from Chronic. Is Rapid going to be able to get there? He will save this one away, but he's in a tough spot. Cannot have a lot of boost. What a save! Oh my goodness, Rapid might have just secured game number 3 with one of the nuttiest saves I've ever seen. Chronic had seemingly an open net. Oh no, Chronic is eventually going to score. Rapid, what a save though. That save was absolutely nutty. I'm going to save this to try and remember where that was. That was the most insane save to even stay alive for the last few moments, but Chronic will tie it up 6-6, 2 seconds left to go. I think I saw chat has an overtime prediction, so we'll find out right now what the people who thought it would go to overtime are about to be right. Rapid's dribble 50, no overtime today, at least not in game number 3. Rapid wins the kickoff, air dribbles it all the way in front of the net. Such a good job of pulling off, using the wheels to kill the ball. And Rapid will take game number 3 against Chronic. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Rapid versus Chronic. Game number 4. What an insane series so far. Rapid with one of the craziest saves I've ever seen, trying to secure his 1-goal lead, ends up losing it, but then clutches it in the final moments in the last second as the clock ticked down. A great air dribble, but the story of game number 3 was probably the Rapid kickoffs. Rapid did a good job of a few different direct kickoff goals, as well as gaining possession on that kickoff at the start of overtime, or not overtime, but almost overtime, that last possession. And if you get more possessions, or even direct goals like he did, you're just going to end up having a much better chance at winning the game. So many more shot opportunities, and that first shot off kickoff is one of the best shot opportunities there is. The longer, the possession goes on, the harder it is to find a really good shot opportunity. Chronic losing his 50, has to get in the way of Rapid. He's not going to get back. Rapid will get it first. Rapid is not afraid to challenge in the corners, maybe in a way that we normally don't see, 1v1 players doing. Usually, it's very risky to come deep into the corner of somebody who has possession. If you miss that challenge attempt, the counterattack is so easy. Chronic is beating himself up for that. He knew he should have scored that long shot. What a bump! He'll eventually score it. These guys playing so fast. But that was an important goal to get there for Chronic's mental state. He had made an outplay on Rapid, had an open net, for someone as talented as him. And so if he didn't score that one and Rapid was able to stay alive, it might have hurt the psyche a bit. Nice flick by Rapid to himself off the crossbar. Rapid's been lethal on the kickoffs as well. Both these guys doing a good job of securing the goal if they ever win a kickoff completely in their favor. Rapid gonna give Chronic space, so Chronic has all the time in the world. Great speed flip towards the ball from Rapid. Made Chronic have to take the ball earlier than he wanted to. On the small chance that Rapid is actually going insane and challenging all the way back from his half, Chronic needed to go up to force a 50. And Rapid ended up turning away and just taking Chronic out of his advantageous position. Now Chronic, a great physical play from him. He has been able to stay alive in a lot of situations and even convert some goals just by bumping Rapid. If Rapid doesn't score here, yeah, okay. Rapid tried to put it in the far post, I assume, because he figured Chronic was going to be respawning, but Chronic wasn't going to actually get that close to making the save. Luckily for him, Chronic had no choice but to instantly pre-flip towards net. That could be a good sign for Chronic. A second goal. Only down 1. Rapid watching the kickoff with us. Wants to figure out what did he do wrong to lose that one straight into his net. Chronic has been delaying the kickoff a little bit. I like that. It's been working for him so far. Rapid hasn't been able to get a read. And having the edge on his kickoffs, staying one step ahead, seems like it could very well be the difference in what is a super close matchup. Chronic read the early challenge from Rapid fast enough, or almost fast enough. Rapid just barely able to get there. Chronic, no, don't do it to us. Ceiling reset. Don't do it to us, Chronic! Oh my goodness. How can you not love watching this guy play? This is primetime Rocket League right now. Little air show. You're exactly right. Chronic is exactly that. An air show. Every time he comes on stream, it is one of the most exciting games you've ever seen. Anyways, casual ceiling reset for Chronic. He'll tie it up 3-3. This flip reset does get slowed by Rapid. Rapid has done a much better job of defending them. He has kept a lot of good ones out of his net, but Chronic can just turn it up a 1 notch higher and reach up to legendary status instead of just amazing. Nice 50. Chronic will get the lead. Minute 40 left to go. Oh my goodness. It's insane. If Chronic doesn't end up winning the series, that goes to show how well Rapid is playing right now and how good Rapid's defense is. Considering Chronic is just an offensive powerhouse, he'll get a 5th with a minute 34 left to go. 2 in a row. A huge swing coming off of some nasty plays from Chronic. Rapid's had enough of the kickoff, man. He doesn't think it's been going very well for him. He is going to fake, especially on the diagonals where it's easiest to fake. Chronic's so risky. No boost, a 2-goal lead. Players would normally pull back and play it safe, but not Chronic. A 6-3 lead for Chronic. Taking the risky 50 at midfield. Where is Rapid going? I don't know if he was flipping out to that midfield boost or what, but Chronic will find a way to get it to the net. Especially if you run away and don't defend it. Chronic into his own corner. The patience, my goodness, man. Chronic is not sweating. He knows Rapid's not going to be able to find it past him, but those of us with a faint of heart cannot believe how calm and collected he is right on the goal line. Rapid is a great player, and yet Chronic's not worried. 48 seconds. Clock winding down. Rapid is going to need 1 and probably a few kickoff goals in a row. Chronic did not get a good bounce off the wall. He was trying to pinch this one probably on the back wall and land on it himself, but he ricocheted himself off. 40 seconds. Way more than enough time for Rapid to come back. Kickoff's going to be so crucial. Chronic does lose this one. Rapid slowing down the possession, a high shot, and a great save using the back wall or that post to pinch it out. And the long clear is not going to get rid of Rapid's possession, but what it is going to do is waste some time. And Rapid's looked good on his air dribbles. 24 seconds. Kickoff so important. We saw Rapid gain control on kickoffs in game number 3. Ended up being the reason why he won. Can Chronic keep Rapid from figuring it out? Nice kickoff for him. He's got possession with 20 seconds left to go. Chronic doesn't play it safe. Not the kind of player he is. He's going to go to make it a 2-goal lead. Chronic. You do not want to see Chronic rolling this ball up the side wall off of a kickoff. It's just too much. Not even Rapid can stop him. 15 seconds. It's still not over. Rapid with a couple good kickoffs, and this is the way to do it. I mean, it took him, what, 3 seconds to get that? Rapid has time to win this game by 3 if he can keep getting kickoffs like that. Chronic looking like a straight up genius for running up the clock, or maybe not a genius for letting Rapid have another kickoff. Rapid power shot, Chronic saves away off the post. 3, 2, 1, Rapid not gonna be able to get back to it, and wow, this series deserves a game number 5, and we're gonna get it. Game 5, Chronic versus Rapid. Both these guys playing out of their minds all series. This series deserves a game 5, maybe more than any of the series we've had in a long, long time. And we are getting it right now. Chronic shot off the side wall. Actually kind of a nutty save from Rapid, considering it seemed like he had missed a wave dash or something and was kind of out of position with low boost, but found a way to get an angle on it. Rapid a nice flick, and the early lead will go in favor of Rapid. Chronic losing this one slightly into his half, but he is able to grab boost, and he does such a good job at these 50s, man. He loves when Rapid comes to challenge. He's realized now that Rapid will be the over-aggressor in lots of situations, and he just reverses away from the ball and does such a good job of positioning his car right behind the center of mass to always win those 50s. High pop, boost grab, Rapid. This is just a clear to buy himself some time.
You even remember me, Mr. Famous Car.
Chronic, air dribble. Tried to drop it under, but actually got in the way with it, this car. Still able to get the continuation. A second goal for Chronic. Flagged the prime. Give Flag the oh babies. Chronic up 2-1. If he could find a way to stop doing this, it would be a blowout win for him. Maybe not a blowout win, but comfortable win, no doubt. But Rapid has found a way to get some direct kickoff goals on multiple occasions. Specifically, that straight-on kickoff seems to be the worst for Chronic. Chronic tried to fake. He went up to go for this ball and tried to pull away from it to see if Rapid would miss, but Rapid was locked on in the second he jumped up in the air. Easy counterattack, and the momentum has swung yet again back in favor of Rapid. Rapid delaying the kickoff. I don't know if Chronic was as well. Ended up not being able to find the angle because of that. Rapid has stuck to his very aggressive defensive style. He does not like slowing down. Even when he's in net, it seems like he's trying to constantly stay moving. Chronic, once again, just ice in his veins on his goal line. He is just so unfazed. Rapid takeaway. Chronic able to box him out to prevent the shot. And now lots of space for Chronic. Rapid gonna try and close the distance. But man, there's just no good choice. If he challenges early, Chronic will bounce it over him. And if he doesn't challenge early, Chronic will score. What can you do? You have to prevent a situation like this from ever even starting. And to be fair, that is what Rapid has been trying to do. He's been trying to limit these as much as possible. And one of the ways to do it is to challenge early. The problem is Chronic is so good at reading though. He'll still just pop it over you and take an easy one if you're gonna challenge early. So what is the solution? I don't know. What Rapid's gonna need to find out. And I tell you what isn't the solution, and that's completely whiffing the ball in the corner. Tried to pre-flip into this one to tap it up high, I think, and set himself up to get boost and make a continuation, but a slight miscalculation. Chronic has had enough of the diagonal kickoffs. I don't really think those are the ones that Rapid has been winning, but it doesn't matter. He's not going to risk it. Long shot for Chronic, and a 5th. Great idea to fake the kickoff. 2-goal lead, one of the biggest leads we've seen all series, or at least in this game number 5. We've had some big leads earlier in the series, but this one has been back and forth. Chronic, is he gonna make it a 6-3 lead? He will. But none of these leads have ever been comfortable. Every time Chronic has gotten a little distance, Rapid has worked it back. Nice shot, Rapid. Rapid's preemptively nice shot in Chronic. That's not a bad idea. Might have gotten his head. That's the worst attempt we've seen from Chronic all night. And Rapid decided to just pre-compliment him. He had had enough of watching Chronic go up the side wall. That was actually some 5-head mind games. Chronic doesn't miss. That was the best defense we've seen on an air dribble all night. Was a quick chat. Rapid launching it over the moon. Chronic is mostly just trying to avoid a demo here. I think when you're all the way on the back line like that and kind of moving slow, not really with a great shot attempt coming soon, you're just trying to avoid getting taken out of the play. Chronic has done such a good job of saving great shots from Rapid. I mean, I guess he's not going to be able to keep it out forever, but considering he had 12 boost, getting a nice pre-jump and cutting off that shot is pretty impressive. Rapid will eventually score though. Minute 34 left to go. Rapid's air dribbles have been lethal. He does such a good job of slowing them down, keeping them in a spot where Chronic, when he's trying to shadow, cannot squeeze them away. This time Chronic also just made a misread, hoping to cut off Rapid's dribble early. Wow, these are so important. This is just, I mean, unfortunately, a lot of the series has come down to plays like this. I mean, in a close game, Rapid working his way back into it, Chronic just slaps in a direct kickoff goal. Chronic forced off the ball, has to give up possession and the midfield boost. Rapid a flip reset of his own. Chronic somehow saves it. Rapid, can he find a way to squeeze this in? Great delay. Chronic, what a save! Chronic showed solid defense early. Rapid delayed it so that he didn't just slam it into Chronic's waiting defense. Instead, tapped it in slow, and somehow Chronic recovered. I don't know how, I wasn't really watching him, but he lands right in time to save the last pixel of the ball from going in. 54 seconds. Chronic with a 2-goal lead. You almost expect it to go to overtime. Rapid has found a way to bring it back in these last seconds every time. This slow dribble, I'm really surprised Rapid didn't take it to the air. He's looked filthy with all of his air dribbles, but you know what? This is why he is the top player and not me. He will eventually get his 6th. Ooh, what a flip. I mean, all of that comes down to a really nice diagonal backflip that launched the ball faster to the net than Chronic prepared for. So Chronic caught a little bit out of position. Surprised at how quickly Rapid could get it back online. Chronic thinking about demoing when he doesn't connect. He's now used up the last bit of boost that he did have to try and make a clear attempt. 10 seconds left to go. Stuck in net with a pad or 2. He's going to try and close the distance to grab the second pad, and Rapid will tie it up. Guys, I told you Rapid was going to come back. Chronic had a tough decision. Challenge earlier, and in the process pick up a second pad, or stay in net and potentially not be able to save a high shot. But Chronic chose wrong. Are we gonna head to overtime? Chronic up. This ball still in the air. Rapid's gonna let it hit the ground, or when I say gonna let, he had no boost. Overtime in game 5. We couldn't ask for more. Fake kickoff from Chronic, and it's red for the first time from Rapid all series. Rapid had been launching those corner kickoffs into Chronic. When he faked him, Chronic has passed it to Rapid. Rapid missed! Chronic, that was a mistake on the side wall. He absolutely gave Rapid an opportunity to score, but Rapid missed. Oh, Chronic, an outplay on the back line. He doesn't have a lot of boost. but he's got to be able to score this one. Rapid had none himself. Chronic will end Rapid's run in Game 5 overtime. Wow. What a series, Chronic and Rapid. That is one of the better series we've had on stream. My goodness, both these guys hopping out quick. It is a good day for Chronic fans as he qualifies for their LCS and he stops Rapid's run at level 3 in Game 5. My goodness.